People come to me all the time after being discarded by a narcissist, and they ask, how could I have been so stupid? I thought I was so much stronger than this. So today I am explaining the exact 10-step process that a narcissist uses to hijack your natural bonding system and your reward pathways. The good news is that this process does require one key element from you, and if you don't give this one thing up, the narcissist's entire house of cards crumbles. And here's a clue. It has nothing to do with intelligence or mental strength. In this video, I am speaking specifically about romantic relationships, but most of these steps and tactics also play out in other relationships or other types of relationships as well. I'm Lise. I've worked as a therapist for over 20 years and as a life coach for over a decade. As my regular subscribers know, I post weekly videos on things related to personality disorders, grief, stress, and other mental health issues. This information is for educational purposes only, so if you need support with your specific situation, please reach out to a mental health professional in your area. So let's jump right in. But just keep in mind that some of these steps can happen simultaneously and may not happen always in the exact order that I'm going to describe. So step one is grooming. They need to prepare you for this ride that they are going to take you on. So the narcissist will gather important information about you. They need to know your deepest desires, your darkest secrets, your hopes, your dreams, your traumas, your tragedies, the worst things you've ever done, the worst things that have ever happened to you, all your fears, frustrations, disappointments, and everything that makes you tick. So in the beginning, they are data mining hardcore and mapping you out emotionally. And you'll be thinking, wow, no one has ever been this deeply interested in me before. The narcissist will seem super empathetic and engaged, and they will also share things about themselves, secrets that they've supposedly never shared with anyone, because you're the first person that they truly trust and who can truly understand them. And their stories will pull on your heartstrings. The purpose of the grooming phase is to acquire emotional information about you, to feed your fantasies, and create a false feeling of fast intimacy and trust, as well as to plant the seeds to get you thinking that they have what you need. And that could be love, sex, money, anything you've been missing, longing for, or deeply desiring. Step two is the idealization phase, and this often happens simultaneously with the grooming phase. I'm not going to go into great detail about idealization because I'm sure you are already well aware of what this is. But here in this stage, the narcissist's goal is to keep you on a consistent schedule of positive reinforcement. The idea is to create a whirlwind of positive emotions in you: excitement, awe, gratitude, hope, euphoria. They want you to feel significant, strong, certain, and they want to show you your best self and how amazing you feel when you're with them. It's not complicated, really. They put you on a pedestal, give you all of their time, attention, adoration, excite you sexually, do sweet things for you, give you experiences you've never had before, treat you like you're some kind of angel or king or god, consistently firing up your happy hormones, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. So you see this idealized version of yourself. You feel like $1,000,000, and your brain pairs this blissful emotional state with the narcissist. During the idealization phase, they are not only getting you to fall in love with yourself, an idealized version of you, but they are casting themselves into the role of your fantasy partner, your soulmate, twin flame, the one, and you feel ecstatic, on top of the world, like this is better than any drug. Step three, future faking. So the narcissist has successfully groomed you. You've fallen in love with the idealized version of yourself and of them, and now it's time for you to buy into a fantasy future custom made just for you. This is a promise to fulfill your deepest desires, make all of your dreams come true, alleviate all of your problems, and if you bite on this fantasy future, they know they've got you on the hook, and they will use the promise of this fantasy future to get you to invest more and more of your resources into them. The concept is you give to me now, and somewhere down the line, eventually, maybe I'll give to you. And long after you grow to hate the narcissist and yourself, they will still be able to manipulate and control you using this fake fantasy future. It's like if you invested $1,000 in a stock that's supposed to skyrocket and you're convinced it's about to go. So you add another $10,000. You lost some money, but there's some good news. Something good is about to happen just around the corner. So you invest another $50,000. Hell, this stock is going to make you rich. You keep losing, but the experts are promising a turnaround. So you invest more and more and more until you are so committed to the fantasy outcome that you've completely lost sight of the reality, which is the fact that you are actually getting the opposite of what you want. You are actually losing your shirt. So instead of getting rich, you're going broke. And this is exactly what's happening in your relationship with the narcissist. So you taking this bait and biting down hard is key to the narcissist's success. But that's not the one thing that they need from you. And I'll tell you what that is in just a minute. So just to recap, steps 1, 2, 3. The narcissist gets you caught up in a whirlwind of positive emotions. Awe, excitement, engagement, giving you a constant rush of dopamine. Your brain's reward system is making a powerful association. Narcissist equals feeling amazing. So now they've got you spellbound, addicted to them through your own brain chemistry, and they've figured out how you perceive and process information, what your emotional triggers are, and what emotions they can use to manipulate you using the least amount of effort and energy possible on their part. So now it's time to start breaking you down and breaking down your concept of reality. So step 4 is breaking down your sense of self. And this is the devaluation stage. And the devaluation stage is not just about, demeaning or criticizing you randomly. The devaluation stage is about breaking down your sense of self slowly, consistently, but intermittently. When the narcissist strikes, they will strike hard and hit you where it hurts. They will use your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, the things you said, promises you made, and stab you right in the heart with it. During the devaluation stage, the narcissist is not only trying to crush your self-confidence and self-worth, but they are positioning you to feel like you owe them. Like you have to prove yourself, prove your worth. So the narcissist will talk about how they are disappointed in you, how they are doubting your intentions, and they don't know if you really, are the partner that they thought you were, or that you said you were going to be. And implicitly or explicitly, they will let you know that you're not cutting it. And they may need to find someone better than you, someone who can meet their needs. The devaluation stage is aimed at highlighting all of your insecurities, your weaknesses, and any shortcomings, and to reinforce them in your mind. The narcissist needs you to think that you're a bad person, that you should feel guilty and ashamed of yourself, because it is this self-betrayal that is the one thing that they need from you. If they can get you to agree to reject the essence of who you are, to agree that you are bad, unworthy, and can't survive without them, it's checkmate. Stage number 5 is the push-pull cycle. So if you're willing to apologize, admit you're wrong, and promise to change, things will get better for a while. The narcissist will reward you for agreeing to reject yourself, and they will build you back up slightly, giving you those hits of dopamine every time you fall in line, every time you please them. And if you don't, they will pull away, withdraw from you. And it's this back and forth that the narcissist uses to teach you exactly how to think, feel, and behave. And this approach avoidance pattern is very important when it comes to your brain chemistry. When the narcissist approaches, for example, they give you attention, adoration, sex, you get that hit of dopamine and you get that relief, you get that feel-good feeling again. And when the narcissist pulls away, you go into withdrawal. You feel anxious, depressed, irritable, you can't think straight, you feel bad. Narcissists are like master illusionists. They manage to distract, divert your attention while they masterfully use their bag of tricks to take over your mind and your emotions. As you know, gaslighting is one of these tried and true psychological tactics. And I won't get into too much detail about gaslighting in this video because it's gotten a lot of attention already. But the basic premise is that the narcissist slowly and consistently uses techniques that will weaken your mind, cloud your judgment, and destabilize your trust in your own perceptions, memories, experiences, and reasoning. I could give you 100 examples of gaslighting, but I'll give you just a few. So the narcissist will say things like, "We agreed to," and they'll fill in the blank with something you never agreed to. They'll say, "You said it yourself. So-and-so was there. I'm not the only one that heard it." They will intertwine facts with fiction, just sliding it in there as though you're not going to notice. And then they'll say later, "Remember I told you such and such a thing. I can't believe you don't remember that." And sometimes they'll plug in some things that actually were said and get you to agree on the factual parts of the story while getting you confused about other parts that they're kind of plugging in here and there. Now, there are millions of ways a narcissist will distort your reality. Please feel free to add some examples in the comment section below. The important part to remember, though, is that they are making you lose trust in your own mind. And this is key to breaking down your sense of reality so that you can learn to trust theirs instead. Number 6 is isolation. Once you're under the narcissist spell and you've bought into this fantasy version the narcissist is selling you, they will now isolate you as much as possible and as quickly as possible from the people you trust by creating a we-them mentality. You know, it's just you and me, baby. No one understands you like I do. They just don't get it. They want to make sure you don't have your social reference points, all those people who will help you think rationally and get reoriented to reality. They may do this by taking all of your time and attention, creating drama or angry reactions when you want to spend some time with other people. To avoid conflict and embarrassment, you agree to detach from friends and family and start accepting this isolation as part of your life. They will devalue and lower anyone that you love and trust and try to make you suspicious of their intentions, their actions. They may do this by telling you that, your loved ones are talking behind your back or twisting your perception of the intentions behind something a friend said or did. The narcissist will frame things in a way that makes you believe that, they are the only one that you can trust. If you are solid in a certain relationship and the narcissist realizes that they can't shift your perception of that person, the narcissist may instead try to get closer to that person and shift their reality of you instead. Step number 7 is the acceptance stage. So as you become more isolated, depressed, and dependent on the narcissist to interpret reality for you, you come to accept that this is just how it is. Not only are you bound emotionally, but there may be a lot of other reasons that you stick around and don't see a way out. It could be financial obligations, it could be children, it could be threats of death or suicide. Step number 8 is keeping you in an emotional state. The narcissist will elicit difficult emotions from you. They can't allow you to tap into the rational side of your brain. So they will create dramatic scenarios. They will react with utter shock at some minor thing you said or did, or they will have erratic, over-the-top tantrums to keep you in that emotional state of mind. They keep you feeling guilty, shameful, angry, afraid, hurt. It doesn't matter. As long as you're emotional, it's good. If they can't elicit a negative emotion, they will try to take you back to the fake fantasy and that future that you so want. At first, maybe you fight back. That's okay. The narcissist doesn't mind. You're emotional. That's good. Then you start to try to escape. They don't want that. They'll accuse you of running away, not being able to handle your problems, but they can leave whenever they want. They can walk out the door as they please. Stage 9 is learned helplessness. When you stop fighting and fleeing, you go into a state of freezing. Learned helplessness. You have given up because you're exhausted, depleted of all of your resources. You feel insane. But still, you're groveling for the narcissist's crumbs the way a man dying of thirst would beg for a sip of water. It's like you're on your hands and knees, licking a shallow, muddy puddle, not realizing that the narcissist has blinded you to the fact that there's a fountain overflowing with fresh water right beside you. Step number 10 is the discard. The discard only happens if you are one of the fortunate ones and have nothing left to offer, and new supply has been found. And although I listed the discard as step 10, if you are really fortunate, the discard will happen before you abandon, reject, and betray yourself. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and check out my playlist on narcissistic personality disorder.